About today. Just sharing some thoughts about an amazing set of people. I had the privilege to be invited to Birmingham Town Hall last week. I know some people got to some social gigs. What's the reception about the Windrush generation and about the Afro-Caribbean contribution to this country? And I think this is where people kind of get mixed up between ancestral worship and really standing on the amazing shoulders that we stand on. And I think that, I put something on my Instagram. I said, like, listen, if I actually knew while my grandparents are here, what they went through, I would hug them, I'll kiss them more, spend more time with them. I would. I really felt, I'm not saying this only has happened to black people, but especially Afro slaves, I believe our inability to communicate, struggle, strain, stress, suffering, sometimes has made that the next generation doesn't have the wisdom on how to stand up and how to defeat it. And I think as much as it looked packaged differently, I think we suffer today with the same sort of element of racism, but in a different way. But if we knew what they went through, we would operate like different. So I heard Carchin, I believe his name is Professor Jar Carchin. He gave a piece about names of people, what and what the contribution of the Caribbean is. I remember before Carchin, in my history class, I was excelling in history class while I was looking into other areas of the world. I really flopped when he's talking about industrial revolution. That's where I flopped in my history. But he was emphasizing that the Caribbean made a contribution, a serious contribution to save this country. Now, growing up, all I saw was English young men going out to war and fighting for the Commonwealth, with a few Anzac soldiers from New Zealand, Australia, and Canada, white soldiers. You never saw no Indian soldiers or African soldiers or Caribbean soldiers involved. But we made a massive contribution. And the reason why I bring that up is because, again, this country was decimated by the war, and they needed us to come and not so much save it, rescue it. We were requested by the Queen to come over here. The joke is the Caribbean actually raised money and gave England money over the war efforts. Man, are good, yeah. But obviously they're still not, still part of the kingdom, as I say, Commonwealth. But they did all that. And when soldiers came over here, went back to the Caribbean, or some stayed over and then went back over to England, and it was treated like a piece of trash, and they couldn't believe it. And you hear these stories about American soldiers going back to the US, and they said, "Oh, that's to fight the civil rights." The Caribbean people had to fight against this. When the first Windrush came over, first set of people, and that was the start of, when black people were coming here from after the World War II, straight away afterwards in the late 40s. That was when it started to trickle into this country. And you sit down and think, hold on a second, I went through some of the stories, guys. It's scary. You're quite highly qualified, you come over here and you have got no chance just to provide for your children. You have to sweep the floor, you have to do rubbish jobs that purposely don't give you the job which is you're skilled for, by purpose, by design. That's how the system was made. People were still ignorant. Now I look back at the Windrush generation, they came together. Now I don't want to focus on what the abuses they faced. I can be all day about that. But my cry is to descendants of Afro-Caribbean people, whether you're quarter, you're mini drop, you're 3/4 full on, like myself, 100% Caribbean. You know, what are we doing to honor their coming together? I'm not saying it was perfect coming together, but they had to work together to buy houses when they wouldn't, without bank accounts. They had to find deposits out of nowhere. They had to save money up. They had to trust each other. They had to come into a country without knowing each other, and people looking after people's children and so on. It never was perfect. It's rough. There were some dodgy folks, the 100%, people that just want to party. But you imagine, you see a lot of men in that community when I was growing up in the 80s and 90s, just going to the bookies, drinking, smoking. Was that their escapism? And can we look back? And this is not ancestral worship now. How do we represent their legacy? Is there any honor in that? I know, we're in a Christian station, but my parents always said to me, when you go out on road, you are representing, not only, firstly, your family. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? Yes, you're representing Christ, but, people know you as Roger Moore. You know what I'm saying? You're representing Christ, and you're representing black people out there. So do good. Do we say that now? Are we representing? Do we just don't care what we represent? And that's a problem for me. So the question is, that I would say to people is, I want us to really search ourselves, how are we representing? Now, if you have African descent, again, that could be a question you ask yourself. If you have Asian descent, you could be asking yourself, if you're even of Irish descent, Scottish descent, we're coming to the motherland, England. How are we representing? What are the struggles of our communities face? I know Scotland went through, Ireland, they went through it. Or we pretend like it never happened. Pretend like it never happened will make it happen again. That's what we're going to be very careful. Even going to the Ukrainian war, we have to be careful, because this is all very similar destabilization that we saw before World War III. That's why everybody's waiting themselves. World War II, because they can see it happening again. We're not going to do reparations today, but I'm just having us to think about the Windrush generation. Now, beautiful and special they are as a set of people. Absolutely amazing. They came over not owning nothing, no inheritance, nothing. And listen, man, founded churches, massive buildings, did a lot. Just never had the knowledge to just, I would say definitely knowledge to just push on that further. But they left it for us to do. What have we done? What have we done, man? That's the question. It wasn't built for us to win. I guess my skin is my sin. Let's break those chains so we can all be free. Hi, and thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe, you like, and you comment, and make sure that you're sharing the videos and watching so much more. We have loads of content for you. I hope you